Well, in 1870 was when the company was founded. We were predominantly builders and joiners back then. Funeral directing was only a small part of what we did. And that was 6 generations ago. And through 2 world wars and many other things happening, it has one way or another passed down through the generations. And it stayed in very much a similar incarnation of what it had originally been until the late 1980s, when my father took it over. And that's when we decided to focus predominantly on funerals. It's difficult to describe a typical day because everything can change from a phone call. Generally, come into the office, if we have a funeral that day, then make sure everything is as it should be with the funeral. We usually contact the clients the night before just to make sure that they don't have any last minute concerns. The vehicles are brought out of the garage, they're cleaned before every job. The coffin is double checked, closed and made sure everything is as it should be there. And then we usually set off to the family's house. We will usually leave from their house before we travel to either the church or the crematorium. There are times when you're going to go home feeling down, feeling sad. You wouldn't be human if you didn't. But in order to be able to do this job and do it with a sense of longevity, you have to be able to leave a certain amount of it at the office. As with any job, at the end of the day, when you flick off the lights and leave to go home, you've just got to try and leave what you can at the office. It's not always possible. Bereavement is never the same for two people. We have dealt with some families where they need to lean on us quite heavily for their own sake, part of their own grieving process, and that's fine. That's what we're here for. I've dealt with other families where they seem to take the most comfort from keeping us at a distance and treating us in very much a business-like manner. And therefore we must be flexible in the level of care that we offer people. If they need us to be very attentive, then we certainly will be. If they want us to be very formal, then we can do that too.